At ito ba'y distinct possibility, maski ba distinct por posibilidad? Kasi sinabi ni Pangulo na maaring the planes will be grounded. Pero sabi naman ng DOE, hindi, it's okay. So, problema ba? May posibilidad ba? Or wala naman palang problema, iparating nyo sa Office of the President. Maraming gusto kong maintindihan dahil iba yung nababasa ko sa news, iba yung naririnig ko sa hearing, Mr. Chair.
To the committee chairs, but naka-break po ang...
Kasi po, we were willing to go on special session. May we know, number one, no GAA funds needed. It's with PNOC and all it needed was congressional approval. And bicameral, ang dali naman. Isa lang. Wala. Ang kanyang linalabi yung biofuel. Sinabi ba yan? Because this is so urgent. It did not come from us. It came from the DOE. May I just know the date? Sir, I know you're a technical person and you seem very knowledgeable. I just need to know, it's an admin matter. Can we kindly put on record after this presentation, Mr. Chair, just bear with me, so that hindi ang itsura nakapending sa Senado, tapos sasabihin nyo, kasi po nag-break, excuse me, hindi po nag-break ang Senado na hindi inaaksyonan ang hinihiling ng executive. Dalawa ang inyong hiningi. Excise tax, napasa namin. At sabihin nyo on the record, kailan nyo mai-implement yan, at ang gulo ninyo. Sinabi nyo, excise tax, kailangan urgent. Nung napasa namin, sinabi, we will see. Yan, galing sa inyo yan ha, kung gagamitin. Tapos, the next day, o sige na nga. Ano ba? Ano ba? Kailangan ba? Hindi. It was deemed urgent, napasa, tapos pagkapasa namin, we will see. I'm quoting the executive, nanggaling sa inyo yan. Tapos ngayon, gagawin na. And cite the impact, mararamdaman pa. Yun ang sabi ng chair no, ni Senator Pia, ano ang ramdam sa pagbaba o pagkaltas ng excise tax? Yung biofuel, maraming concerns sa mga coconut and sugar farmers. Pero itong sinabi niyong low-hanging fruit, congressional approval. Tapos nagsabi po kayo, sir, with all due respect kasi po nag-break. Hindi po magandang pakinggan yan. Hindi po mag-break ang Senado kung sinabi niyong kailangan ng congressional approval ang paggamit ng PNOC ng kanilang pondo. Pakilagay po sa record after your presentation and we give a chance to the others, Mr. Chair. Because it's important na hindi tinuturo sa atin na nag-break tayo kaya ang PNOC hindi makagamit ng kanyang pera. That's unfair. Ang secretary nga ninyo wala dito
Oil Industry Management Bureau looking into the report. And level 3 is legal services looking at the potential administrative or criminal cases. We only have 5 people with the CWPO, but we thank the DICT for putting up the system overnight. So we were able to contact them at 9 o'clock in the evening. And at 2:30 Sunday, we were already walking through the eGov e-report portal on how we will manage the same. And on Monday, 2:19 p.m., we were able to already go live and come up with this system wherein I think there are 36 million subscribers of eGov PH that have validated na mga IDs and emails and contact numbers pag nagre-report on, and they can send pictures and they can send also videos that will make our jobs easier to make sure that everyone will be our partners in delivering the petroleum products on the ground. So napadali po yon. So for that, Mr. Chair, Honorable Senators, we first turn it over to Undersecretary Sales on the supply and other issues, and also the other guidelines. We will turn it over to Director Rino Abad from the Oil Industry Management Bureau. With your permission.
Yeah, go ahead, Yusek Sales.
Thank you. Magandang umaga po sa lahat. So si Yusek Wimpy, naghati na kami, type enforcer on the ground, and myself looking after making sure we continue to have supply coming into the country. So next slide. So we've structured this as per the request of the committee. So we begin with the current situation, assess our stock, and then a short slide on the MAPS price series, as this is the direct price that imports come into the country are ranged against.
Mr. Chairman, before you proceed, just for the record, may we know where Secretary Sharon Green is?
Alam ko, papuntang Malacanang.
I'm trying to verify, but I heard she's on her way to Malacanang at the time that we had the press con at 8:30 to 9:30, and she was on the way. Yes, it's this morning.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Just for the record, Senator Kiko, I actually told her that it's imperative that she brief us in person dahil ang isa sa pinakamalaking casualty dito ay energy sector. Pero may pinadala siya sa akin napakahabang schedule niya na hindi ko naman hiningi. In short, busy raw siya today. No? Pero sabi ko nga sa kanya, kung merong isang dahilan kung bakit tayo nandito ay dahil mataas ang presyo ng langis at hindi rin natin alam kung tuloy-tuloy pa yung supply natin. Kaya sana makarinig namin sa ating secretary kung ano ba yung kanyang plano. Kasi kung nawalan tayo ng supply ng langis, malaki ang ating problema. Nevertheless, pinadala niyo yung kanyang mga undersecretary, and I hope that the undersecretaries can commit a contingency plan, hindi lang motherhood statement katulad ng sinabi ni Senator Lauren. So go ahead, Yusek Sales.
Mr. Chair, I join you and Senator Kiko and the rest in asking that no less than the cabinet level should be here. Kung nandito ang SFA, bakit hindi yung iba? You're too busy? Is this not the most important thing? Admit there's a crisis. You must have a crisis action plan. And not that we don't appreciate the presence of a dear friend, Yusek Wimpy Fentabella, of course, who's very competent, who's been with the DOE for quite a while. But to give it the importance, if Sec Rex and Sec T. Laurel could be here, why should the DOE secretary be exempted from this? When DBM is here, pag kayo and NEDA, pag kayo ay humihingi ng mga budget ninyo, maski overnight, nandyan kayo. Pero pag crisis action plan, marami kayong dahilan. The Senate will not allow that. Unless you are not admitting that we are in a crisis situation. Then you're lost in translation o nahihibang. Because everyone must act as if we were an ICU situation. That's how it should be. Not to enrage the people and not to let the people panic. But on the contrary, if they see the government on the ground and having more than what the chair mentioned, so-called motherhood statements, not just curated PowerPoints. We want to see your action plan. How many people, families will be positively affected, if any? And what are the monies, the funds needed for continuing appropriations? And what are the line items in GAA 2026 na pwedeng ikalap maging savings para ito ang gagamitin? Tapos sasagutin ng DOF at ng DBM saan manggagaling ito considering 2.5 months pa lang at aminadong wala pang pera ang gobyerno. Pinapaasa ang mga tao tapos walang ibibigay. Hindi pwede yon. Tapos wala pa ang ibang kabinete dito. Pag sa ibang bagay, mabilis pa sa alas 4. Pero sa krisis, wala. Ano ba kayo? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Thank you. Go ahead, Yusek Sales.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So that's the outline for today. We'll cover the 6 areas, hopefully very quickly. In the end, we will have a recommendation for specific legislative asks to enable the contingency program, especially the tier 3 that we'll present. Next slide. This is the current situation. So beginning this Tuesday, there's another increase. So the left panel is the range for diesel. We're showing diesel because this is itong pinaka-importante day-to-day fuel natin. So ang range natin ngayon ay 105 pesos to 134 pesos sa pump price. These are going to be yung prices sa Metro Manila sa highly urbanized areas in the Philippines. No, ang adjustment reflected on the pump is 13 to 18 pesos po. Ang DOE nag-signal ng breach ng ating $80. Actually, umabot ng 89.02 nung nakaraang March 13 po. And we'll have a short slide on why. Baka hindi na ito angkop na trigger, yung Dubai. Ginamit namin sa analysis 59.50, but we all know that has now moved to 60. So maliit pa lang. Next slide. So this slide shows yung ating current inventory as of Friday, March 20. Yung dark blue, this chart is in days po. And iba-ibang produkto nandiyan po, diesel, gasoline, LPG. So yung dark blue are actual stock in country. So sa diesel may 46 days. This is based on our average utilization, daily utilization. Yung light blue color po, yan po ang nagre-represent ng physical limit ng ating storage tanks in country. So pag tinignan nyo, medyo malapit na tayo sa tank tops ng diesel at gasoline. This takes into account yung nabili na, nasa dagat na at papunta na sa Pilipinas. Confirmed in transit orders. So in terms sa international standard po, sa IEA, 30 days po ang suggestion ng International Energy Association. In fact, all our products are above that. Ngayon, ang hindi lang LPG. So we're looking especially into the case of LPG. Dito po sa slide na to, kasama na dyan yung unang na-order ng PNOC Exploration Corporation, about 138,000 barrels of diesel. So ang sunod namin tinitingnan actually is yung ating LPG at yung jet fuel. Yung fuel oil po, karamihan dyan ay for generators na natitira na lang. Next slide. Ito po yung basihan kung bakit baka kailangan natin palitan yung ating trigger na Dubai Platts na nasa batas. Simply put, sa oil trading may Dubai Platts, dyan po nakabase ang presyo ng produkto. And ang tinatawag technically is yung crack spread. Kung ang produkto, Dubai Platts, no March 9 ay 125 from 71. Ang diesel, per barrel po ito, sumirit ng $184 per barrel. In graphical view, yan po yan. Yung diesel maps ay yung parang orange na pula. Yung Dubai Platts, yung blue. Yung diferensya sa dalawa, yan ang tinatawag na crack spread. Nung nag-umpisa po ang kaguluhan, makikita natin na lumapad yung spread. Dati ang spread niyan is mga $15 to $20 per barrel. Nung nag-umpisa po ang gera, umakyat ito at kasalukuyan just above somewhere $60 po ang crack spread. So nagdi-devise na ngayon ng DOE na palitan, magmumungkahi na palitan yung ating trigger kasi hindi siya akma sa galaw ng presyo ng produkto. Lumalabas pagka ganitong nagkakaroon ng gulo. Next slide po. Nagpadala po ng 5 senaryo, different price levels. Pero may konting mismatch kasi itong binigay ng mga senaryo levels ay Dubai average over a period of time. We try to match it dun sa actual na maps po ito at malaking impluensya yung crack spread. So based on that, ang tingin ang evaluation ng DOE is actually nasa scenario 3 na po tayo na binigay po ng committee. So scenario 3, lumalapit na po tayo sa scenario 4. And precisely why we think that it's more appropriate now kasi parang lumalabas yung trigger na huli. When in fact, kung na-redesign natin yung trigger to something more appropriate now, like basing it on maps and yung appreciation, maybe yung trigger mas maagang dumating. Kasi yung trigger dumating March 13 po nag-release eh. Because Dubai Flats ang nakalagay. Pero when in fact, 2 days after, kung nasa maps ang trigger, na-trigger na po natin.
Anong dapat ginawa? Or anong dapat gawin? Anong pumungkahin nyo?
Well, we're doing a policy note on changing the trigger. Hindi po nakaano sa Dubai Flats. Ihahalo natin yung takbo ng MOPS, which is the mean of Platts Singapore, on the products, diesel, gasoline, and kerosene po.
This problem has been ongoing for several weeks. And you're saying that hindi po nabago. Ano po ang dapat gawin ayon sa inyong mungkahi at ganong katagal bago nyo mabago para akma
We will,
sa panahon?
yes, thank you, Mr. Chair. We will be presenting for legislative action po yung pag-change ng trigger. Nasa batas po kasi yung trigger.
Kung batas po yan, kung
Na-trigger
batas po
na.
yan, kung paano ko lang batas, tanong ko, nabigay na ba nyo sa Senado at sa Kongreso yung bill? Pangalawa, na-certify ba ng urgent? At kung hindi pa, anong sense of urgency ninyo sa DOE kung sinasabi nyo sa hearing na ito na kailangan may batas na ganito,
Mr. Chair.
legislation? Number one, are the draft bills in both houses of Congress, have they been referred to the appropriate committees? I did not see a certification of urgency by the office of the president. If you seem to say, sir, that this is very urgent.
Mr. Chair, if I may, we did realize this when the situation unfolded as shown on the graph. So you would see that it's a fairly constant 20, and then when the crisis happened, the market reacted differently now. The spread was increasing very fast. And in fact, we already issued based on the $80, the certification by the DOE. So with this realization, we said that we need to change because with what has recently happened, we need to change the trigger probably to make it more reactive to situations like this.
Just to clarify, yung trigger kasi is meant to do two things. One is to trigger the suspension of excise tax. Two is to release the Pantawid Pasada under DOTR. But ito are for purposes of triggering the release of funds. Ang DOE should have a much different trigger. Dapat mas maaga kayo, wag niyo nang antayin yung mga trigger sa loob ng GA kasi hindi yan para sa inyo. Para yan sa release ng funds. No, so ang punto ko, nung nangyari na yung digmaan, ang analysis ng DOE should be very different. I don't think you should blame the trigger. Kaya late tayo umakto. Kasi iba yun eh. Ibang-iba yun. But again, with the indulgence for colleagues, let's allow DOE to finish first, and then later on we can
Thank you.
propound those questions. And then after that, we'll go to DepDev para to look at the inflation scenario and also to the Department of Agriculture for the spillover effects to food security.
Thank you,
Mr. Chair.
Yes, yes.
And before I propound questions later, pagkatapos lang po ng DOE presentation, meron lang akong immediate na observation sa presentation nila kasi it relates po dun sa interpellation natin nung excise tax bill. Salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, Senator Risa. Go ahead, Yusek Sales.
Thank you po. Next slide po. Now, this is just a graphical presentation against the 5 scenarios. So yung second clustered columns, yan ang current situation na po natin. And you can compare dun sa scenario 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 using yung time-bound and Dubai average. So in reality, as of this week po, nag-i-straddle na tayo between S3 and S4 scenarios that were given by the committee. So yan po ang situation ngayong linggo. Okay, next slide po. Baka medyo maliit pero nilagay lang namin yung action ng DOE in terms of yung immediate tier 1, tier 2 at saka tier 3, 30-day, 90-day and beyond 90 days. So yung nasa unahan was yung sinabi ni Yusek Wimpy during the first week of the situation, intensified inventory check. We wanted to make sure anong estado ng ating supply. Nag-coordinate sa LGU, PNP to check on profiteering and hoarding. Tapos immediately we engaged the oil companies for potential mitigation in price adjustments, like what happened in the first 2 weeks that they were staggering the increases. Then we intensified the energy savings program. In fact, we instituted work from home, carpooling in the department itself. We also went out to the other national government agencies for for their implementation, more intense implementation of the energy savings programs in place. We also activated PNOC and PNOC EC to try and look for other sources. And in fact, yung first cargo na in-order ni PNOC EC is arriving towards the end of this week. Diesel po siya. Dadating po sa Subic ngayong linggo. We also engage with the different embassies to ensure yung mga existing contracts po natin, kasi karamihan ng produkto natin ang gagaling po sa South Korea, China, Japan, Malaysia, Singapore, around the region lang, malapit. But we talk to all of the ambassadors here, and in some of the instances directly talk to their Ministry of Energy or to ensure that yung existing contracts yung na-order na in place ay wag pong tamaan ng any sort of export ban. And in fact, kaya medyo gumanda yung inventory, may deliveries na dumating from China, South Korea, Japan. Yung usual suppliers natin are still coming in. That's why yung pinakitang inventory is relatively high. May 38 days po tayo sa gasoline, 42 I think days sa diesel, and more para sa bunker fuel. No? So those are the things we immediately encountered. Of course, pwede rin kasi mag-cascade into the power sector, so we immediately talk to the importers of our coal. So although in power, mas konti na lang ginagamit natin, peaking fuel na lang yan. But of course, yung coal kasi ini-import natin sa Indonesia, so may marginal increase dahil sa transportation, shipping costs sa Indonesia. So hindi pa namin na-quantify, but it's looking itong mga bagong shipments na dadating ng coal, marginally 10 to 20% increase, primarily sa freight cost. No, but we're already engaging the power plants, especially magsasummer na po tayo. And then yung dinify natin sa tier 2, further actions natin in the short to medium term. Ito na nga, nag-engage na kami sa embassies to ensure our continued supply para sa mga private contracts with all of our supplying countries. And then we intensified yung ordering ng PNOC and PNOC EC to move out from the traditional sources din natin dito sa Southeast Asia. And they're talking to US supplier and South American suppliers, Indian suppliers, which are not traditional. The only drawback is humahaba yung resupply time, US mga 40, 45 days, kung India ka mga 30 days. But we have to keep the inventory up. And we also have already issued the department circular loosening the use of diesel to Euro 2 standard, but of course this is going to be limited to generators, the old engines. This has particular effect sa mga jeepneys po natin that run on older engines, and it will not be a problem for them to use Euro 2. So that's loosening up on that requirement. We have recommended as well a exemption to the importation of biofuels, because every % biofuel, nababawasan yung need for the gasoline and the diesel. The NBB will be convening to address yung potential to increase yung ethanol blend sa gasolina po natin. Currently, nasa E10 tayo. Baka we're looking at increasing it to E15. Although meron po tayong existing na voluntary E20 usage. Pero maraming technical discussions about E20. Also, we are going to be seeking approval for the supplemental budget for PNOC. The request has been passed to the Committee on Energy chair in the House, I think. So we want to activate yung funds ng GOCC natin to be able to address yung inventory natin in country to keep it at a healthy level. So there's more there. But,
Mr. Chair,
go ahead.
Go ahead,
follow up
ma'am.
lang, magkano yung supplemental budget na hinihingi nyo for PNOC?
I think yung initial request, if I'm not very sure, but it should be 8 billion to 10 billion. And this is not funds from the national government, that those are funds in the PNOC, but needs congressional action in the budget para ma-release, magamit.
Well noted. Salamat, Mr. Chair.
Thank
Just to place on record, the National Oil and Gas Contingency Plan was in place in 2023. We were using the previous plan 2002, but it was also based on the 1973 experience of the Philippines. So siya po yung pinaka-senior na nandun na noong 1973 po.
Mr. Chair, the congressional approval is needed based on the answer to the question of Senator Ontiveros. So has it been communicated to both houses?
I think a letter was submitted to the committee chairs, but naka-break po ang
Kasi po, we were willing to go on special session. May we know, number one, no GAA funds needed. It's with PNOC, and all it needed was congressional approval. And bicameral, ang dali naman. Isa lang na araw yan. May I know, kailan po binigay ng DOE sa Senado, kailan natanggap yung sulat, kailan binigay sa atensyon ng leadership at ng chair ng komite? May we know? I mean, this is what I mean. We act with urgency. It's not a
Yeah.
matter of walang pondo. May pondo, it came from DOE's information, congressional approval. So it doesn't take too much if it's an urgent matter. We were able to pass the excise tax, and to be fair to the chair, kaagad nagtrabaho at napasa po namin. So kailan po ito?
Yeah, PNOC is here, Mr. Chair. Initially, itong first 2 cargos actually, merong releasable fund pa si PNOCEC. That's why we bought the first cargo. And then there's a second cargo coming in. So,
Ko po tinatanong yung ilang cargo. Simple question. If the DOE says that all it needs is congressional approval and the PNOC has
Yeah.
the funds, and you said that the letters were sent because it is important that the people know that letters are not sitting in the Senate without action. we would know if there is a letter that is deemed urgent. Kasi wala ang inyong DOE secretary eh. Wala dito eh. E nandito siya last week. Sinabi ba niya sa chairman ng Energy? Sinabi ba niya sa leadership sa Senado? Wala. Ang kanyang linalabi yung biofuel. Sinabi ba yan? Because this is so urgent. It did not come from us. It came from the DOE. May I just know the date? Sir, I know you're a technical person and you seem very knowledgeable. I just need to know, it's an admin matter. Can we kindly put on record after this presentation, Mr. Chair, just bear with me, so that hindi ang itsura nakapending sa Senado, tapos sasabihin nyo, kasi po nag-break, excuse me, hindi po nag-break ang Senado na hindi inaaksyonan ang hinihiling ng executive. Dalawa ang inyong hiningi. Excise tax, napasa namin. At sabihin nyo on the record, kailan nyo mai-implement yan, at ang gulo ninyo. Sinabi nyo, excise tax, kailangan urgent. Nung napasa namin, sinabi, we will see. Yan, galing sa inyo yan ha, kung gagamitin. Tapos, the next day, o sige na nga. Ano ba? Ano ba? Kailangan ba? Hindi. It was deemed urgent, napasa, tapos pagkapasa namin, we will see. I'm quoting the executive, nanggaling sa inyo yan. Tapos ngayon, gagawin na. And cite the impact, mararamdaman pa. Yun ang sabi ng chair noon, ni Senator Pia, ano ang ramdam sa pagbaba o pagkaltas ng excise tax? Yung biofuel, maraming concerns sa mga coconut and sugar farmers. Pero itong sinabi niyong low-hanging fruit, congressional approval. Tapos nagsabi po kayo, sir, with all due respect kasi po nag-break. Hindi po magandang pakinggan yan. Hindi po mag-break ang Senado kung sinabi niyong kailangan ng congressional approval ang paggamit ng PNOC ng kanilang pondo. Pakilagay po sa record after your presentation and we give a chance to the others, Mr. Chair. Because it's important na hindi tinuturo sa atin na nag-break tayo kaya ang PNOC hindi makagamit ng kanyang pera. That's unfair. Eh, ang sekretary nga ninyo wala dito eh. Kung anong pamumulitik ang ginagawa na naman ng sekretary nyo.
But break tayo session pero tuloy-tuloy pa ho yung aming hearing.
Yes, of course.
At kung kailangan po mag-convene, ready naman po magkaroon ng special session at any time.
So,
No?
it's important.
So-
When did you give the letter? Ha? Kasi, alam nyo, hindi pwedeng tinuturo-turo nyo kami. Hindi nyo pwedeng sinasabi, makinig kayo. Huwag kayo nagpapalusot dito ha. Sinasabi nyo, yung letter na sa inyo eh. Tapos nag-break kayo. Double jeopardy. Hindi pwede yun. Sorry, hindi po kami papayag nun. Kung alam po namin hindi kami mag-break, tama po ang chair. Tinan mo nga, mag-break. Gusto nyo Holy Week, magtrabaho tayo dito eh. Darating lahat ng secretary. Burn the midnight candle. Walang labasan sa kwarto hanggang hindi nakita ang pagtulong sa latang tao. Pero wag niyong sasabihin na nag-break kami kaya hindi napasa yung hiniling ng DOE na congressional approval. Hindi po, sir. Hindi inyo kasalanan yon kasi wala ang inyong sekretarya. I can't think of anything more important than this hearing convened by the chair. And if the other cabinet members are here, why could the most important department not be present? Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. And may I reiterate, Secretary Yusek Fentabella, na kung pwede namang ipagpaliban muna ni Secretary Garin yung kanyang mga meetings, tingin ko hanggang mamaya pa tayo dito. After her Malacanang meeting, mas magandang pumunta ho siya dito. No? Pakisabi na lang ho sa kanya. Pinadala niya sa akin yung mga schedule niya. Tingin ko naman mas mahalagang makausap niya ngayon ang taong bayan para marinig sa kanya mismo kung ano yung kanyang mga plano kung sakaling mawala talaga tayo ng langis. No? So, okay. Go ahead.
5 days, it's about 12 billion. We have the facility given by DBM for 20 billion. we are envisioning na hindi naman kailangan 24 kasi pagdating niyan, kung meron tayong oil companies na may kulang na, then we can have them access the stocks para paikot-ikot lang siya. And this is in addition to hopefully that the oil companies are able to stock also their purchases. So ginagawa rin na nila yan. They're doing purchases and we have checked with them. They have confirmed incoming deliveries this week and next week, and they're working on their deliveries for April, Mr. Chair.
Maliwanag bang inaamin ng DOE na hindi tayo, Philippine government, DOE, sabi mo na maski deregulated tayo, urging at least the private sector in preparation for any potential crisis, hindi talaga nag-stockpile at ginagawa niyong dahilan ay dahil deregulated tayo. At sinasabi niyo, pagpalitan niyo yung batas, kung balik sa regulasyon or regulated, ay kaya natin mag-stockpile. Yun ba ang ginagawa niyong dahilan?
Mr. Chair, we haven't stockpiled, the government itself hasn't stockpiled for decades already. Ngayon,
I'm not saying government. When I say tayo, whole of government ito, deregulated, at least may constant coordination and meeting with the private sector. So any potential crisis, just like our ASEAN neighbors, may buffer stock na safe. We're buying now at more than double what we could have bought for 10 billion because we did not stockpile. So I want to understand, is it all to be blamed because of the oil deregulation law enacted decades ago, or dahil hindi naisip ng DOE and it failed in trying to anticipate possible crisis? It's a simple question. You don't need the technical experts.
Mr. Chair, because of the oil deregulation law and also the privatization of this industry, the burden has shifted to the private. Now, the private, minomonitor po namin yan every week on their inventory. The requirement is actually 15 days. 15 days is just good enough para buffer for 2 weeks, pero hindi mahirap din i-increase because of the capacity of their storage and also the price of the product. Kaya doon po nakapeg sa 15 days more or less. Pero now, lucky enough, they have enough for 3 times that, Mr. Chair.
Is stockpiling an act of regulation, or is it just a matter of prudent planning? Hindi naman yan parang naghihimasok tayo sa pribadong negosyo at gagawin natin dahilan ang oil deregulation law at tikom ang bibig at nakagapos ang gobyerno dahil ang batas ginawa 20 years ago. Hindi, pagplano yan Pagsasangguni pag-uusap para ano man ang krisis, kaya nga surprise yung nangyari kung tayo ay nakikipag-ugnayan gaya ng ibang mga bansang binanggit ko sa ASEAN, ay hindi tayo masyadong gipit, which brings me to the statement made earlier, which I monitored. Ano ba yung sabi? Tagtuyot? Ano yun? Ano yung sinabi dito? Ano yung sinabi dito? Nasaan yun? We could run dry. Yes. I heard it. So because number one, hindi naghanda ang DOE at ang ginagawa niyong dahilan ay ang deregulation law, at dahil hindi tayo nag-stockpile dahil sabi nyo hindi nyo gawain yan, na sa aking paningin ay hindi yan paghihimasok sa pribadong negosyo kung hindi prudent planning. Tapos sinabi ng DOE, we could actually run dry. Tagtuyot, mauubusan, ilan na lang. Paliwanag po ano ang ibig sabihin. Akin na yung salitang yon. Ano ba yung sinabing? Tsaktong sinabi. We will run dry. The worst case is that our country runs dry. Okay, sabihin natin sa 110 million Filipinos, DOE, Secretary, the worst case is the country will run dry. Pakipaliwanag po ang tagtuyot sa sambayan ng Pilipino para po kami maintindihan namin ang paghahandang dapat gawin. Kung ganyan po ang sinasabi ng Department of Energy, hindi pa ba yan krisis? Ayaw pa ba talagang yugyugin ang mga utak ng mga tao sa gobyerno para tanggapin na tayo'y nasa isang krisis? At sinasabi na that we will run dry. Pakipaliwanag po para maintindihan, mapondohan, nandiyan ang chair ng finance, para ang ibang ahensya ng gobyerno ay maghanda pa at masyado pang gipitin ang belt tightening sa paghahanda. We want to understand. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair. The running dry means we run out of fuel and of gasoline and
Yes, yes,
diesel.
obviously. Teka po.
Ay.
English po yung sinabi nyo, sinalita nyo yon translated sa Filipino. Maari sigurong karaya kung gusto nyo. Ibig ko sabihin paliwanag, hindi po translation. What I mean, what I want the DOE to say is the implications. What does running dry mean in terms of the farmer and the fisher folk and the jeepney driver and all of those in the lower income and middle income, all of us? What are the implications insofar as agriculture, insofar as transport sector, nandiyan ang DOTR, insofar as what are your action plans? Because you said it, not us. The country will run dry. Kung tayo'y mauubusan na ng langis na nagpapatakbo ng ating ekonomiya, gusto namin marinig ni Chair kanina pang 9:00. Anong action plan na hindi motherhood statement? Thank you, Chair.
Secretary Kiring.
Mr. Chair, I can only speak for DOE that but the impact on the industries would be with the other agencies. And sa atin po, as our impact would be the fuel side on the gas stations and which affects the transport, and then on the power side. The power side, fortunately, we are only using diesel at 3% in our energy mix. So ang most affected dyan would be Napocor, Mr. Chair, the islands. No? So that's why our chair, our president has been hard at work in coming up with alternatives in case different scenarios. On the fuel side, we are currently the effect would be transportation cannot run. We are doing different scenarios to do avoiding that, working with DFA, working with the different governments, different countries, different oil companies para siguraduhin po that our orders are consistent, Mr. Chair.
Thank you for that statement, DOE. The worst case is that our country runs dry. Tagtuyot ang Pilipinas base sa fuel. The implications, according to the DOE, transport will not run. Kung yan po ang mangyayari, isa lang yan sa implikasyon. Ano po ang action plan na mararamdaman po ng taong bayan na pwede niyong ilahad sa komiteng ito pag mangyari yung worst case scenario that our country runs dry? Ang tubig din, kulang. World Water Day nung isang araw, isa pang issue yan, tubig naman. The water will run dry sa Pilipinas. The country will run dry, worst case scenario, ayon sa DOE, and the transport sector will not run. Having said that, may this representation, Mr. Chair, ask the DOE, ano po ang inyong mungkahi at action plan? Dapat, worst case scenario palagi ang ating mindset. Ganon kami sa national security sa military. Palaging war gaming, worst case scenario. If the transport sector is not secure and will not run because the country will run dry, ano ang action plan ng DOE maliban sa sinabi nyo kaninang carpooling, work from home, Zoom with mayors? Ano pa po?
Mr. Chair. On the inventory level, Mr. Chair, we're doing different scenarios in different contingency plans. Ano. Ang first off sa ngayon is we are talking to all the oil companies constantly and checking their inventory, making sure that meron tayong enough. Right now, even though we have enough for the next month, we are already working on the next batch. Kaya kinakausap na rin namin yung mga ministers ng iba't ibang bansa and looking and PNOC, which hasn't been done before. PNOC, a government corporation, is also looking for alternative routes other than those getting from Middle East. So, yun po yung isang intervention namin na talagang pinupush makakuha, and PNOC is there just in case it gets too expensive na rin, or it is getting expensive. We are willing to buy as long as there is enough supply in the Philippines. So sinisecure po yung supply. That's our first and main objective, no? Next, now if it's depleting for some reason, we also have different alternatives, and we are already working on this. We're supposed to have a meeting today with for biodiesel or biofuels, to utilize biofuel both for generation of power and as well as for transportation. It's either increase the production, or if they don't have enough raw materials, if we need raw materials, we're still assessing what is the volume that's needed for generation and what's needed for the cars, Mr. Chair. Kasi there are vehicles that cannot take in 20%, for example, in the blend. So inaaral po rin ngayon, and we're coming with the volume that will be needed. So piniprepare na lang namin. The other intervention that we did just recently is just in case kung wala na talaga mga Euro 4, Euro 2 can help in the generation of power. That's also an option. And ang other, and then we're also ramping up the renewable energy. Meron pong mga projects na papasok pa lang December, so we're helping them. Target is to have them on grid na by April, para pumasok na sila, para mabawasan yung pressure sa fuel, or kung hopefully matanggal siya sa power, doon na lang siya sa transportation. So that's what some of the interventions we are doing now, para hindi po mangyari po yung worst case scenario natin.
I'd like to quote the president today in an interview with Bloomberg. Several countries have already told our airlines they cannot fuel their aircraft, so they have to carry fuel there and back. Long haul is going to be a much more serious problem. These are the president's statements today, and it seems to be at odds, hindi po tugma sa sinabi po ng DOE na sinabi, but they have assured us they're okay. Ayon po sa DOE, we met them because we wanted to know if they need help in procuring, but they have assured us they're okay. Garin said. Ito po yung sa balita ngayon lang. Ayon po sa Pangulo ay may problema. Long haul is going to be much serious problem. They have to carry fuel, but the DOE said they're okay. Kaya siguro walang sense of urgency. Apparently, ang iba sa gobyerno kasi we're okay. May I just be enlightened, please? Ano po ang tamang statement, at tayo ba ay A-okay? O tayo ba ay posibleng mag-run dry? Ano ba ho talaga ang statement?
Mr.
Thank
Chair.
you, Mr. Chair.
Our consultation is on their fuel, Mr. Chair. We have checked, we met last night at around 6 o'clock with Petron because they're the supplier, Cebu Pacific and PAL. They have a combination of suppliers, Petron, and also they import it on their own. As of yesterday, their inventory is around 38 days. 38 days, and they have confirmed. We asked them if they want us to help them procure additional fuel for the next month, meaning on May. They have already secured confirmation of their next order. I think it was South Korea, no? And what we will do is just follow it up with the G2G dialogue also to make sure that it comes in. So they have told us that as far as their fuel here is concerned, sufficient sila for the next 2 months, Mr. Chair.
Thank you. Mr. President, Mr. Chair, ang gusto ko sanang marinig mula sa executive, pag ang DOE ay nagsabi na the country will run dry at tinanong natin sa ating crisis committee ano ang implications nito at ano yung action plan, ang gusto kong marinig sana, impact if we run dry. Ano? Transport stops. Ano ngayon ang action plan? DOTR. Food supply is disrupted. Ang ngayon ang action plan? DTI. Emergency services stalled. Ang ngayon ang gagawin ng DOH at iba't ibang ahensya ng gobyerno. Prices spike as they are doing now. Ano ngayon ang ginagawa nyo? DA at DTI. Agriculture gets hit. It's already hit. And farmers and fisher folks, despite being half of our population, only, tama ba yun? 44,000 lang mabibigyan ng ayuda. Ano ba yun? GDP declines, anong gagawin? DepDev, DOF, etc. Ano ang gagawin natin? Health risks, wala ba ang DOH dito? Ganun sana ang ating gustong marinig mula sa gobyerno, sa executive, sa pagpulong na ito. Mula tayo ng 9:00, hindi masyadong mga motherhood statement. But having said that, I don't think they're prepared for that. Perhaps in the second hearing, they could be more prepared and not come late. It was also stated that the DOE is trying to cap profits. To cap profits. So pwede pala eh. Diba? Sinabi ba nyo yun? To cap profits. Why just now? Ano pa ang natuklasan sa nakaraang 4 na linggo ng DOE? Ano ba ang usual na margins ng mga kumpanya? At paano magkaka-adjust? Assuming you have the answer to that, kung di sila handa, Mr. Chair, ay maari nilang ibigay sa atin sa pangalawang hearing or after today kasi gusto natin aralin yung statement na they are looking to cut profits. Sino yung they? The private sector. Oh. Ano ang natuklasan ng DOE sa inyong pagpupulong at investigasyon? Ano ba ang mga margin? We have to understand all that, and this applies to the queries of Senator Marcoleta. Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair.
Go ahead.
We don't have the power to cap profits, Mr. Chair, right now. That the discussion was about what are the, I think Honorable Senator Ontiveros was asking what could be possible changes that we would suggest in the amendment or overhaul of the oil deregulation law. The current system is there are several parts of the supply chain until it gets to the gas stations, and at this there is a difference, a huge difference between a gas station in, let's say, in a town in Mindanao and in NCR, and that's what we want to explore the possibility of that in times of emergency or in times of like this, there has to be a certain limitation para hindi masyadong mabigat po sa mga consumers natin.
I go back to the airplane question. Kasi binabasa ko yung news. Wina-warning ni Pangulo na grounding planes due to fuel shortage is a possibility. Pero sabi naman ng DOE, hindi raw. So gusto kong malaman ang totoo. Kung accurate ba yung sinabi ni Presidente that airplanes will be grounded or not? Huwag na yung masalimuot na sagot. Magaground ba? At ito ba'y distinct possibility? Maski ba distinct por posibilidad? Kasi sinabi ni Pangulo na maaring the planes will be grounded. Pero sabi naman ng DOE, hindi, it's okay. So, problema ba? May posibilidad ba? Or wala naman palang problema, iparating nyo sa Office of the President. Maraming gusto kong maintindihan dahil iba yung nababasa ko sa news, iba yung naririnig ko sa hearing, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, last night, it was 6 o'clock, they confirmed to us that meron siyang fuel. So if it's because of fuel, it will not be grounded. Maybe on the price or a commercial decision on their part. Pero yung availability dito sa Pilipinas, meron pong fuel yung jet fuel yung ating mga airlines.
Okay. It just gave me more confusion, Mr. Chair, because I'm reading the President's statements, at least based on the news, grounding planes due to fuel shortage in several news reports. But the DOE is in our hearing saying that it's not true. So we leave it at that. Hindi ko pagpipilitan yung nababasa ko online. I am just confused. I will ask my questions, Mr. Chair, with the other agencies. I can proceed now. Yeah,
Proceed.
thank you. Umalis na ba yung iba? DTI? Okay, DBM. We started with this lahat ng plano, pero wala tayong nakitang plano pa na mga ahensya yun ang sinabi ni Sen Kiko kanina, yung chair, parang motherhood. Saan kukunin ang pondo para lumaki ang subsidy na binibigay po? Sa GAA 2025, sa continuing appropriations, at sa GAA 2026, na 2.5 months pa lang at alam natin naka-FLR lahat. Ayon sa aking datos ay 188.584212, tama ba ito? Billion ang available funds. Please give an accurate figure mula sa GAA 2025. Ano yung continuing appropriations, ito'y naka-earmark na kasi nasa GAA. Anong balak ninyo? Ito ba'y re-realign nyo? Paano nyo gagawin yun na legal? At ayon naman sa 2026, hindi natin na-anticipate itong krisis. Anong gagawin nyo sa ibang line items na sa panahon ng krisis ay baka tignan na luho? Sa ordinary times, hindi luho. Pero sa panahon ng krisis at may austerity measures ay parang luho. In short, ano yung pagkukunan natin ng pondo para matulungan ang nagdurusang mga sektor? Thank you.
Yeah.
DBM.
Yeah, Mr. Chair. Okay. For the 2025, we still have a continuing appropriation of around 10.9 billion. That's